Hey, good afternoon, the Queen of Reggae. How are you?
I am wonderful and giving thanks, Mr. Lindsay. I am truly blessed. We're alive.
Yes, we are. And your fans. I put up this thing this morning that I was gonna talk to you, and I'm just getting the feedback. You sure you're gonna get her? You sure you're gonna have her? So I just wanted to reassure them that this is the true living Queen of Reggae, Marcia Griffiths.
Well, I am giving thanks. And whatever I say, I always manifest. So every word that we speak should be so truthful that no one should question anything that we say.
I think a lot of people, most people know you're having a big function coming up this weekend. You're
Yeah.
celebrating your 60th anniversary. And the guests are coming in now. So you are supposedly very busy. How busy are you now, Miss Griffiths?
Oh my goodness, I'm extremely busy because it's one thing that should never be said. Once my name is attached to anything, I do my utmost best that everything is right and proper. And I mean, I'm an artist myself, like the other artists. So the same thing that goes for me, I make sure it is 100% right for them as well. So I'm busy trying to make sure that everything is in place and everything is in order.
Now you are celebrating your 60th. And I heard an interview you did a week ago, and you talk about the first time you went on stage at the Carib Theater, and they didn't want you to go, but Philip from the Blues Buster stood his ground, and you went on. Did you see at that time, or did you have any idea it will lead to this day, 60 years later?
Oh, no, Clinton, none whatsoever. I had no vision that this would have become so serious, and this is what God was had ordained for me. You just love to sing and you're doing what you love to do best, and I'm just enjoying it.
Right, right, right.
I never had any vision of being a professional person in the business today. I never thought. But prior to that, when I was a little girl, Clinton, I lived in a big yard, two
Mm-hmm.
yards, open up in one down in Hannatown.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to see how the tenants live, and sometimes the man comes in from work and there's nothing for him to eat. And as a little girl, I look into those things and I always feel as I wish I could do something to help these people.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I have a responsibility.
Ability, right.
So from that time, I wanted to be of service to mankind, whatever I could do. And I say all of that to say this: God could not have chosen a better contribution for me to contribute to the world by touching souls through the medium of music. And I'm truly thankful for that.
Prior to your debut at the Carib Theatre, did you have any other intention, any other ambition back in those days? Young ladies, hairdressers, and dressmakers. Did you have any other ambition other
No.
than to sing?
What I used to do, my grandmother was a dressmaker, and I was inspired by what she was doing. So I used to use the fabric that she has
Mm-hmm.
and drape it around my little skinny body and design things. So that is one of the things I wanted to get into.
Right.
And Bob Marley always encouraged me and say, why you don't do some designing? Because he would notice that I always try to be different.
Yes. Yes.
So that was another thing that I want to pursue. And I still did it, coming up through the years. I would design my own thing to wear on stage because I wanted to be a one of a kind. I wanted to be different from everyone else.
And looking through your pictures over the years, I could tell that you somehow along the line you had that ambition to be a designer because as you just said, you always look different. You're always very professional. fashion statement and all of that. So it does bear out that yes, you must have had that ambition at one point. Okay, seems like we have lost Miss Griffiths, Marcia Griffiths, but I think the engineers were able to get her back. Are you back, Marcia?
Yes, I'm.
Oh, loud and clear too. It's today's technology. You know, it goes. It 1 minute it goes up, and the next minute it goes down.
Technology, anything that is man-made, you can expect anything.
You know, when you say that, you kind of scared me a bit. And every time I interview you, I will bring up this subject that you don't like flying. You know,
No,
as much as you travel for 50, 60 years, you travel now, you don't like flying.
not at all, and it gets worse too.
What is happening now? You more scared now than 50 years ago?
Well, of course, I don't like it. I just don't like it. Even as much as I'm such a God-fearing person, and it's like a ritual when I'm going to fly. I don't stop praying. Just the thought of knowing that I have to go on an airplane and I'm helpless up there. I
You
don't
don't
stop.
like it.
But, I guess the older I get is the worse it becomes.
What about high rise hotels? You don't like to go on the
No, I don't.
60.
I don't stay on any high floor. Heights I don't like, and I'm claustrophobic. So
I remember, I brought in to do a show in New York. It was an hotel somewhere on Fifth Avenue somewhere. You were like on the 10th or 11th floor. And then when I left you, you called me and you said, Clinton, I don't, can you get, I'm like, Miss Griffith, that's what every artist want. The higher the floor, the better it is for them. And I had to come back and change you down to like the second or third floor.
yeah, that's true.
And you told me about Notre Dame, which I never heard of. The prophecy that he comes with. You're not too much a great fan of New York City because of him.
No, no, no. Don't make it look like that. I have to live one day at a time. And once you have faith and you pray and you ask God to order your footsteps, when I come into places like New York and, LA and all those places,
Right.
I truly believe that those places are blessed that I am there.
Oh, nice.
Honestly,
Yes,
that's the
yes.
feeling. It's like when I used to fly with Bob Marley. We used to fly every single day because in those days we never had tour buses with bunks.
Right, right,
So we
right.
had to fly every day to go to different venues, different states. And when I sat in the airplane, I would just picture angels at the side of the
Oh,
plane just
nice.
piloting us
Yes, yes,
because
yes.
I had no doubt that we were all missionaries on a mission from God.
And you
So
say that a lot, Miss Griffiths. And, you really, really believe that in the bottom of your heart that you guys were missionaries. You say that a
I
lot.
I still do believe that. I know that. I know that a woman like me in a male dominated business for 60 years, it was never easy. It was a bumpy road. And 9 out of 10 times, women would get hard luck story from way back when.
Right, right.
No pay. So it must have been the love from the people, the love and the good positive energy that I get from my fans. That's all that kept me in this business till this day. It's not money, cause it never come.
Right, right. No, I heard another interview, and I think they alluded to it in the movie. By the way, what's your thoughts on the One Love movie? What are your thoughts on that?
I usually reserve my opinion, but it's a good. I think it's a nice movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I,
it's a nice story. Yeah.
are you satisfied with the role you that were given to your character in the movie? Because you did get a speaking role at one point where Rita had come to the house in London and you were the one. So were you satisfied with that?
Well, it goes much deeper than that, and we couldn't discuss that today because Bob and myself, as Sister Judy and Sister Rita know, we had a very, very good relationship. I was a spokeswoman on stage and off stage. and I would always be communicating with Bob, whatever it was,
Right,
telling
right,
him things that are how I feel.
right,
I speak my mind.
right, right,
So
right.
I said to Sister Rita that maybe Naomi, who plays my role in the movie, should have had more communication
Sure.
with Bob, seeing that's the way it
It
was.
was right, right, right.
Yes.
And something you said, and I always find that very, very funny when you all went to Rhodesia slash Zimbabwe independence,
Yeah.
and then the riot, too many people showed up, and whatever went on stage, the people them crashed the gate, and they were coming on stage, and you and the band and everybody made a run for it. And Bob Marley
Yeah.
stood there. Tell us a little
All,
about that.
all, all, all what you just said, nothing don't go like that. It wasn't too much people or nobody crashing no stage. At the end of the day, we found out what had caused them to use the tear gas is because there was a group of people called themselves the freedom fighters. They were all outside of the stadium
Okay.
listening to Bob Marley, the great Bob Marley of their dream inside the stadium, and they weren't allowed to come in. So they flattened the fence and came in. So
Mm,
nobody knew what was the reason. So once you're on stage and you're in a stadium and you feel tear gas, you have to just run for your life. So that's what we did. We just ran for our lives. And Bob was just right there. He was ready to go down with his people for whatever reason,
right.
whatever the cause was.
Right. Right.
And from that time, I know that this man wasn't just preaching; he was just practicing what he preached because he never go nowhere. And Ziggy was there as a little boy. I don't know how Ziggy survived.
But
And
the part of that story that I love though is when you by the time you got to the house where you were staying, and then Bob came later. What did he say? He said, "What?
Bob looked on all three of us and said, "Now we know who
Well,
are the real revolutionaries."
how do we run left him?"
Yes, run left him, man.
There's no, but and I know, I also heard when you were asked about how do you feel now and your song that you wrote specifically as a memory, as a tribute to Bob. What moved you to write that song, Miss Griffiths?
Just having had the experience to know this man, because I always say that I knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy I gave him flowers while he was alive. Bob never had to pass for me to say, that man, I saw him for who he was, and there was no doubt, there's no apology when I say that I know that he was truly sent by the Almighty to do the work he did. Because nobody could have been so, I can't even find the right adjective to
Mm-hmm.
describe this man. He was just unique, different. Everything he did, everything he said, even the little things that he would sometimes come up and give us to sing,
Mm-hmm.
it was no ooh or no ah, completely different. And I recognized the difference with this man, and I knew that this man is here on a mission. And from the fact that I saw that Bob was not there for the money, he never wanted a dime. He would give everything to the musicians. Nothing at all. He just wanted his message to go out to the world. That is all that matters. And I've never in my life seen another man so take the music so
Serious.
serious. It
Mm-hmm.
was his life. Nothing came before the music.
Are you surprised at this success? I mean, here's a man that has gone over 40 years. And between him and his generations, they are just dominating. You know what's the number one song right here this week, Miss Griffith? It's
YG.
YG Marley. How do you how do you sum up all of that? How do you put that in to make sense really?
Well, look, we come back again to the same thing. Who have eyes to see, let him see. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. It comes back to what I just said. This man was not a mistake. It's ordained.
Then right.
Look at his seeds. He even prophesied in his song. Just say, not one of my seed shall sit in the sidewalk.
Sidewalk.
That doesn't mean to say just Bob kids alone, because he saw the world, the generation as his people. And when I see the amount of people that survive today from Bob Marley merchandise, and they're all illegal. If everybody was to lock down and everybody selling a Bob Marley belt or a shirt or a tee,
Right,
whatever,
right, right.
Bob is like he's feeding the whole world. And his seeds is the same thing. It's
Right.
not a mistake.
Right,
So
right.
we should look into these things, and even we as an artist today and the younger artists, this generation should observe and see who is in the billboard over 40 years now, ruling,
Rolling.
running billboard, and
Yes.
the top five seller, and
Yeah.
it's the same music from then. As Barry Salmon says, no old school is a good school, because everything that Bob sang about way back when is being manifested today in this time. It's
It
so
is.
relevant. Every
Yes.
song you could relate to what is happening in the world today with Bob Marley's song. And he's not just the only person that sing good music and, prophesy things that we see happening today. Freddie McGregor do a nice many songs that is being manifested in these times.
Right, right.
A lot
Oh,
of artists, Dennis Brown, Jimmy Cliff. So we are all here as missionary,
oh. Right.
sending the message through the music, and we just praying that the seeds are not gonna fall on stony ground.
Of course not.
You
But let me
know?
let me ask you though, as someone that you've been from those days to now, and you're still relevant, you're still putting out hits. I just got a new one from you. Oh, by the way, thanks for that special you did with niceness. You,
Oh,
thank you. That's a very good dub. Very very good
yes,
dub.
you're welcome.
Now, when you put out like your last album you had, Golden, and you listen to this, you would think if that is this album is by someone just coming a couple of years. But when it says Marcia Griffiths, you are still relevant, you're still making good music. How do you put this, I know you're gonna tell me that, it's ordained and so on. But do you plan on doing this for the rest of your life?
I shall sing as long as I live.
I knew that was coming.
No, but it's the truth. Let me tell you something. As long as God preserves me and my talent is still there, you will never see me on a stage if I cannot go on a stage to deliver 100%. I would never go up there to embarrass myself. If that is it, that is it.
That is right, right, right.
But as long as God preserves me and my fans continue to support me, I will sing as long as I live.
Now tell us about your 60th anniversary. You're celebrating it with the concept of this, from what I understand, is you're gonna bring in artists that you have recorded with, and each person gonna do their duet with you. Or how is it gonna work?
It's going to be done in decades, like we start in the decade of the 60s. Unfortunately, most of the artists that I collaborate with from the 60s, like a Bob Andy and a Bob Marley, they are not here. But Singer Jay is coming up to represent his nephew, his uncle
Eh,
Bob Andy.
Oh, really? That's his uncle?
Yeah,
Oh, nice, nice. So nice. And I noticed you have Tony Gregory, and I'm
he's the only one that's left in the decade of the 60s that I did a collaboration
Generation.
with.
While you were at Studio One.
Right. And funny, if you know how much people call about Tony Gregory wanting to come and see him, I'm so surprised.
Well, Tony Tony is Tony. Tony has a hardcore. I remember when he showed up at a show that you I think you were on in New York at the in the garden, that show there. Didn't he do a show there?
Yeah,
Grooving in the Park.
he was on Groovin in the Park with The last Marcia and friends that we had, it was Barry Salmon, myself, Hair Supply, Tony Gregory, Judy Mowat, Ken Booth, Bob Andy. Yeah.
I'm Baba. Okay. And Miss Griffiths, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what is happening, but I'm getting a lot of calls about, and I did ask you a couple of days ago, are you gonna be having a very special guest?
No, you can't ask me that. If I am
I don't
saying
mean
I'm
I ask
having
you. I don't,
surprise guest artists, I couldn't do that.
I hear you, but I'm just for people to hear this interview. You see, I asked her, and that's the answer she gave me. People call and
No,
ask me, and
but
I'm
let's no, Mr. Lindsay. Let's face it. If I'm having it could be
it
anyone.
could be anybody. That's right.
People calling me and asking me about budget too.
Me not call no name, sweetheart. I'm just saying if you gotta have some special guests, of course. Some publicly on flyers like Kimani and Dwayne Stevenson, Tanya Stevens, Busy Signal, Davil, Lady G, who's celebrating her birthday today, and
And Rush Shiloh.
Rush Shiloh. So
And of course, the one I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to everyone, honestly, Clinton, but I am just amazed how Christopher
I
Ellis
was about to
sounds
say that.
so
I,
much.
I heard John T playing. I don't have it, but I heard John T playing. You and Christopher Ellis did an Alton Ellis classic song.
Yeah.
And you both complimented each other so beautifully.
No, but he sounds so much like his dad.
Can I get that song one day? I would love to
No,
get that.
as soon as we finish talking, I have another interview coming up, but I'm gonna send it to you today.
Yes,
Today,
that is
today.
that is a very good song. So now you're celebrating with all these young people. Obviously, you have no problem being the veteran, the legend that you are, working with
Mr.
these
Lindsay,
young
let me
girls.
tell you something. There's no energy like the youth. For me to collaborate with all these, I have a beautiful collaboration with Romy and Virgo, and
Wow.
a whole lot of, I have to tell you this before I go, though, Clinton. I was on stage performing with Skip, doing Bob Marley's Chances Are.
Wow.
And out of nowhere, a feeling just came over me, and I said, my God, this is Bob Marley's grandson.
Son.
And it's me, same one that was with Bob Marley,
Yeah. Amazing.
Ziggy, Damien, Steve, Kimani, and now I'm here with the third generation.
Relation.
And look here now, I swear to you, I have to just give God thanks. I say, Father God, only you could have done something like
Yes,
this.
yes. It's amazing. It's really
It is
amazing.
amazing.
It's
So
amazing.
I enjoy working with the younger people. Trust me. I mean, that's one of the reasons why maybe I am current.
Yes.
But boy, I love it. I love it.
Oh, by the way, Unite, Unite, Unite. That's gonna be another big song for you. Uh,
Well, it is all there for my friends and well, you know what? I call them family now.
yes.
They are no more my fans because after so long, they are my family.
Family.
God is our father, so we are brothers and sisters. So I say family. It's for my family. Everything I do
It's for your family.
is
So
in tribute to them.
so once again before you go, it's happening this Sunday, May 12th, and it's called Marcia Griffiths and Friends. And you have a ton load of friends listed, and it's gonna be in Miramar, 5001 Flamingo Road in Miramar. What time?
Hmm.
What time? If you remember, what time is the gate will be open? I'm looking at the
Gate opens from 1 o'clock because I know it's Mother's Day, and family want to maybe have a Mother's Day
the
dinner
dinner,
or to
right?
take their mothers out to dinner. So, the gates open and the kids under 12, everybody is free. So
Right.
they can come and there'll be ride for them.
Oh,
Fun time. They
nice,
can come and
nice.
have fun.
Yes, yes. And then big people take over like 6 o'clock somewhere about there, huh?
Yeah, well, my journey begins somewhere about that time, I think, because I want everyone to come and experience we're gonna do the journey all
Yes.
over again from the decade of the 60s, coming up from then till now.
But
So
Miss Griffin, maybe you're maybe the only artist alive that have had hits in the 60s, 70s,
why?
80s, 90s. No, think about it. I'm trying to think of somebody else, and you might just be. I'm talking about with new material.
Boy, you make it sound a weird when you say the only artist
But
alive.
who else out there? Because I mean, from the 60s, most of your fellow artists have stopped recording or have passed on. From the 60s. But you just keep going, and I
Well,
really love you for that.
maybe I am the only woman to present time that has proven, because it's gonna take another couple of decades for
Yes,
other women to see if they would even arrive at 30 or 40
yes,
years.
that is true. That is true.
So that, listen to me now, Clinton, you don't have a clue how much I give
I
God
understand.
thanks
I
every
understand.
day.
Yes, and you must, because this is a journey that not many people are given this opportunity to travel this
Be-
journey.
yeah, I have done collaborations with 50 artists so far.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this is just a handful of the amount of artists that I've collaborated with. What I'm going to be working with on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it no sense asking you who are some of your favorites. Is there any sense in asking you? Because I know you did well with Bob Andy, and I know you love doing collab with Barry Salmon. Who else in the mix?
Well, I have to tell you the truth. They're all my favorites because every song is a different vibe,
That
a
is true.
different feeling,
Feeling.
different energy, different message. So I embrace them all. It's like you have 7 children and you're asking me which one's your
The
favorite.
film. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, listen, I wish you the best of luck this coming Sunday. I'll be passing through. And anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, I just want to tell the radio world, everybody out there who listening to us now, this is an event that they should never miss. It's something that you have to experience. This is not one of the shows that people go to, a regular show. This is something with a difference, and I will enjoy it more when I see
See you.
every single one. Mothers, fathers, uncle, cousin, brother, sister. And you have a lot of mothers out there who are also fathers too, like
Yeah.
myself.
Yes, yes.
So I just want to see everyone in the Sunday on Mother's Day come to celebrate. It's a musical upliftment, so they can't afford to miss it.
Celebrating 60 years in the biz. Miss Griffiths, it's always my honor. It doesn't matter how many times you and I have been talking to each other. Thanks for the inspiration for the
Yeah,
Tamika
man,
Reggae Awards.
we coming from a long,
A long
with
way.
long way.
Yes, yeah. You were the inspiration. But Clinton will me award. And I'm like, what award? But Clinton will me award. I'm like, that was in 1989. So
Yeah.
I thank you for that, and the
Well,
world thank you.
right now, Mr. Lindsay is the reward I want now.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of you have gotten you are one of the most decorated females coming out of Jamaica. You've been honored by the government what three times now.
Yeah, 3 times.
So the next one would be the one next to national hero, huh?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well,
I
let's see
don't know
what times
because
brings.
everything is appreciated because it shows that they recognize what you are doing. I'm truly thankful, but I have to dedicate it to the fans who supported me and caused me to be where I am today.
Yes, yes. Without them, as they say,
Nothing. I would be
nothing.
nothing. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
All right, Miss Griffiths, I know it's your busy week this week. I can't even imagine what Friday gonna be like for you.
Well, we have rehearsals every day,
Right, right,
so
right.
yeah.
And they're predicting good weather also. It's gonna be a bit hot, going up into the 90s, but that's what you guys would need for a good Sunday afternoon. Nice weather.
Well, listen to me, man. This is the best place to come and cool out from the
Respect.
heat. Yeah.
Respect. Marcia Griffiths, we'll talk again
Yeah, man. Enough love and blessings to my family out there. All the blessings, and see you on Sunday.
on Sunday. Okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
We talk later.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
All the time, anytime.
All
All
right.
right.
And Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them me can remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists.